name is Samina Noor. I'm from Pakistan. Thank you for inviting me here to share my views on this topic. As you can see on the screen, this is the topic of my presentation. Ushering in discursive construction of Baloch Ethnonational movement in Western media, a critical discourse analysis. Actually, my study examined the representation of Baloch Ethnonational movement in the context of CPEC project in Western mainstream newspaper in the intersection of media, discourse, power, and knowledge. This study implementing interdisciplinary approach combining with critical discourse analysis and post-colonial lens. Here we go to presentation. The Baloch are the main ethnic group in Pakistan. The majority of the inhabitants are Sunni Muslim. A small number of Shia and Hindus also reside in the province of Balochistan. The province is divided between three countries, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Iran. In spite of natural resources in Balochistan province, the province has been marginalized throughout the history. The history of conflict in the province goes back to the independence of Pakistan in 1947. The first conflict arose in 1948 when Klata, part of current Balochistan, chose independence. This was followed by a further conflict in 1958 to 1959. Then it arose in 1963. To 1969. These conflicts were about the one unit policy and military base in Balochistan. In 1973 and 79, President Bhutto dismissed the provisional government of Balochistan, which led to an armed insurgency and revolt. The killing Baloch political leaders Nawab Akbar Bhutto in 2006, in Musharraf regime, and the detention of two leaders of Baloch movement in 2009 and the announcement of Council for Independence Balochistan by Mir Suleiman Daud, the Khan of Klat, in late 2009. The Islamic Republic of Pakistan has accused the army of Balochistan of engaging in violent conflict. Balochistan nationalism is mostly popular in southern and eastern part of Balochistan. The Baloch nationalist movement demand have ranged from greater culture, economic and political rights to political autonomy, to outright secession and the creation of independent state of Balochistan. The movement is secular and heavily influenced by leftist Marxist ideology like its other counterpart in other parts of Pakistan. The framework is interdisciplinary, as I mentioned before, combining Marxism and Foucault discourse, power, knowledge, which underline the CDA approach on the one hand, and post-colonial and decolonialism on the other hand. It demonstrated that Marxist and Foucault concept of ideology, hegemony, and power knowledge discourse help explain the role of media in reproducing dominant ideas, manipulating and indoctrinating people with dominant ideology and maintaining the hegemony and control of the dominant class. Therefore, post-colonialism and decolonialism are identified as additional conceptual tool to decode and deconstruct the Western media representation of China and Pakistan and investigate the way the cultural knowledge and racialized hierarchies filtered through the colonial past continue to define the identity, formation, collective memories, and values in post-colonialism in Pakistan. CPEC China-Pakistan economic door is a framework of regional connectivity. CPEC will not only benefit China and Pakistan, but will have a very positive impact in Iran, Afghanistan, Central Asian Republic, and the region. It also promotes West China. If we talk about its benefits for China, it would be promotion of West China economic and social development, Speed of One Belt and One Road initiative, CPEC is flagship project. It also gives greater play to China advantage of capital, technology, and project operating capacity, and form a new open economic system. And if we talk about how it's beneficial for Pakistan, it base say remove key bottleneck in infrastructure. It shaped new industry cluster in Pakistan, and it created balanced region economic growth in the region. It enhanced domestic stability. If we have been telling the world that this is not an economic project, we see Chinese infrastructure in Balochistan and how brutally they are kicking out the local people from Gwadar and other areas. Balochistan is a resource-rich region with a huge reserve of mineral and gas, but it remained poor because of its exploitative policies of the federal government. It has given birth to freedom movement in Balochistan. Indeed, most of the insurgent movement in Balochistan have been linked with a sense of deprivation and underdevelopment. The people of Balochistan, as indicated, have been living in miserly condition for too long. CPAC appeared to be a ray of hope for them. If that too failed to impact their lives for the better, the possibility of full and civil war in the region. Analysis of the media representation. Region analysis of media representation of Baloch Ethnonational movement in the framework of CPAC reveals that the ideological manipulation of meaning of the new report is achieved by discursive construction of Pakistan and the other. By presenting the movement in a democratic frame, the media essentialized the understanding of movement in a binary construction of authoritarianism versus democratization. Thus, the media preempted and delimited the interpretation of the movement within the preset democratic frame. Additionally, the media produced Orientalist stereotypes toward non-Western nation and particular toward Pakistan, making use of linguistic tools such as lexical choice. The media attributes negative characteristics to Pakistan and designated its despotic and uncivilized. These discourses played on deeply rooted Western stereotypes of Pakistan and stigmatized the mainland of Pakistan as the other. Moreover, the discourse of Pakistan as a threat to democratic Balochistan is constructed to justify the occupied struggle against Pakistan, drawing on the discourse of civilized mission. The media glossed over British colonial exploitation in Balochistan and represented the robust civil society and democratic institution in post-colonial Balochistan as the outcome of colonial rule. In the same way, the media established a social culture hierarchy in which the British colonial power was superior. Pakistan was inferior and the Balochistan situated in between. So playing on the famous of authoritarianism and inferiority, Pakistan was constructed as a scapegoat and received the blame for being the root of all problem in Balochistan, about which the occupiers complain. The media completely ignored the interplay of historical and contemporary political, social, cultural factors that have contributed to the problem in Balochistan. Accordingly, the Baloch Ethnonational movement was deconstructionalized as being caused by a backward and threatening Pakistan. The occupying behavior were legitimate by stigmatized Pakistan as a threatening other. China-Pakistan corridor has deepened the decades-long strategic relationship between Pakistan and China, but it also sparked criticism, including that it burdened Pakistan with mountain of debt allowing China to use debt trap diplomacy to gain access to strategic assets. While some of this criticism is valid, a close look indicates that concern around debt sustainability, rapid economic growth, and overall economic and social instability in Pakistan predicts CPEC. It is the lack of long-term structure reform that has stymied equitable socio-economic progress in Pakistan. The CD of the Western media representation of China Pakistan revealed that the media gloss over Western colonialism and new colonialism of Pakistan and ignore the importance of China Pakistan long lasting relation. Specifically, the new texts adopt metaphor of poverty to construct China as a vicious and poverty China investment to Pakistan as dangerous. Moreover, the media construct a distinction between threatening China as a victimized Asia, South Asia, by strategically employing negative descriptor and term. China is orientalized as authoritarian and aggressive. Other Chinese companies in Pakistan are portrayed as ruthless, predatory, destructive, and racialized Pakistan and environmentally unfriendly. The Chinese in Pakistan are formed by their illegally and criminality and are represented as unethical and dangerous for Baloch people. The media construct Chinese role in Pakistan as neo-colonial. Furthermore, the media essential the understanding of China-Pakistan relations by constructing discourses of Pakistan weakness and vulnerability. Northern trusteeship and the Chinese ruthlessness, the use of negative description and term ensures that Pakistan is represented as poverty-stricken, barbaric, and in need of salvation by Chinese benevolence. In addition, the media adopt normalization to conceal the role of West in the colonial plunder, and thus stage a spectacle of colonial amnesia. In so doing, the media reconstitute the West in this case as ethical and good and concept of imperialist historian. So this is my presentation. Thank you. Hopefully you find it interesting.